Mame fa na say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there osia dem yopo.
Akuffo Addo is a child, and I keep saying Akuffo Addo is a child because in his political life, you see, and the Akuffo Addo, you see, Godfred Dame, the judiciary or whatever they want to call it, the Attorney General's office, almost see a BBF in the law house. Now, it's so interesting that the people who are supposed to rebuke Godfred Dame, no, they all met today and they were doing what? They were praising Godfred Dame. See, Godfred Dame ye real. Godfred Dame has disgraced the judiciary and the Attorney General's office of Ghana. What disgracing? No? Say Krobia ya ferry idea yempeni for no sebio omo peno kra and nobody will sit in any auditorium with Godfred Dame. The people we were expecting to speak on Godfred Dame's conduct to prove to the world and Ghanaians to say they are sebio responsible adults who have been given positions. No, those are the same people today. Omo nyine dware abo powder. Abetina auditorium say let us praise Godfred Dame. It shows morally how this country it has dropped. Morally, how this country we have no conscience. Bia yede chichire man no. Because sesia no ade time in penifo see to say it's something obi ankwasi ade ne kan na to say we are it becomes like we are all attacking somebody who has committed a crime. In the history of the Republic of Ghana, yenya an Attorney General who has been caught on tape speaking to people in court accused without their lawyer. This Godfred Dame guy is a thief. This criminality will follow him till he dies. So the attempt to whitewash, the attempt to clean Godfred Dame's and criminality with this kind of event in airtime. And when you see the Chief Justice, when you see the so-called General Legal Council members, when you see the Ghana Bar Association president, when you see the president who is a certificateless lawyer sitting there licking the butt of Godfred Dame, you need to understand this country needs a serious, massive change. Corruption, no. Mamika you been chamo. I know sometimes the Ghana for no ye kaketa share proye any corruption in general. And Ghana for you say it is always about obi etekra tabiechi na watro na yako bank na yako isika na asemisi atene de na we attend. That is the lowest part of corruption. Corruption ebi Ghana for monti ase ye ka say aban bi epeketa hye proye kankanya. It is not about debia obi sign contract. When you aid, when you basically brush away something that is supposed to be dealt with, say asem daho na asem e wose ye kano sibia e wose ye kano na pepe yo na se obia na obia kuma toni yem na nyina etumi hu ye way forward na yetumi chichire man na and no friend say you are fighting corruption. The moment you become selective about the also can wasem, the nisa can wasem, na ushe nipe bi anim ansa na waka wasem, e hono na yet the real corruption. Because dear Godfred Dame, you know, because the Chief Justice refused to speak on it, because the Ghana Bar Association president refused to speak on it, because some people we expect to say at least they are former judges, former lawyers, statesmen, because these people all refuse to speak on it, the illegality Godfred Dame committed has become a legality in some sense, because we all know that this guy needs to be rebuked. Into Godfred Dame's crimes, no, at the end of the day, no, in Penifuanka also mokasa Emma Sa Bonino, Eya Akwara Ebi all law school ende Ebe Sro Akwara Ebi or person or law school. Ebe who said this is a crime. I will never even think of doing that when I get the opportunity to practice as a lawyer or as a judge. Today, the people who are supposed to stop that, who are supposed to speak against actions of the Attorney General, to instill some fear in the younger generation, to learn or take a clue from, so that we can have a system where generations are learning from generations that did the right thing. No, those in Penifon are rather praising the criminal. So, yeka corruption, it is when people who have the power and authority decide not to use that position given to them or power to suppress an evil act. And the act of Godfred Dame, the Attorney General, the Chief Justice, the Ghana Bar Association President, the President himself, they have decided to ignore. No, this is what we call corruption. Dangerous. Because one, The actions of Godfred Damina, the president, the chief justice, senior lawyers, statesmen, people you expect to speak, chiefs, and those called a council of state members refusing to speak on. Some young lawyer has taken a clue from it. Remember, sick can be a child left and right. Why Junior will say as same way they Godfred Damina? No, there are criminal lawyers in Ghana. There are criminal judges in Ghana. The same way I want good lawyers and good judges. Those people who always want to be on the bad side of the law, using the law itself to protect their crime, they have also taken a clue. And we should not think, say, the actions of Godfred Damino, that action now, the chief justice, the president, they all ignored. So action, it goes with Godfred Damino. No, it cuts deep. It cuts so deep to the point where corruption. This is the greatest corruption Ghana as we so. Because at the end, Bonnie BM na Godfred Amindi and Sana Yutumak Nason. And Sana Yutumak say, wait there, he does not deserve to be our attorney general. Should Godfred Dame pick a gun and shoot somebody in the head at KGTR and Sana Yakasa with the Bonnie? This in judiciary terms, and I say in law, Godfred Dame has committed the biggest crime in the judiciary settings, and I say in law, he has committed the biggest crime. Meaning crime as such a crime Godfred Dame committed. So when you see Akuffo Addo today, you see the chief justice, you see Ghana Bar Association president, when you see lawyers, when you see people who are part of the General Legal Council sitting and applauding a criminal, then it means as a nation we have a problem. I was watching them and I was shocked. I was amazed. I was shocked because I was like, where did we go wrong as a nation? Today, Nana Akuffo Addo, he wanted to take the opportunity to tell Ghanaians he's not a criminal. He is a criminal. In the history of the Republic of Ghana, you have a president who condone corruption. We're making sure say a group or groups of people have been cleared after causing harm to Ghanaians through corruption or corrupt acts. Nana Addo Akuffo Addo, he has overseen the most corrupt regime in the history of this republic. It is under the leadership of Akuffo Addo and as soldiers invade parliament, suppress parliamentarians to force them to do what the president wants. It's the biggest crime in this country. Obia a friend president Nsina Akuffo Addo time they see. Under the leadership of Akuffo Addo, we are talking about the president who at the end of the day yet to meet the member na appointee red-handed criminal. Wakunipa, why you say, Akuffo Addo say, let it pass. I am waiting for we are in this country. Nana Addo Akuffo Addo has used the court to commit more crimes than armed robbers on the street of Ghana. Don't you think? And I wouldn't. Yeah, can nipa we use the courts, the law to commit more crimes in the Republic of Ghana. Nana Addo Akuffo Addo and this NPP, they have used the law and the courts to commit more crimes. Yanti Kromha and the NPP tax ekotrin jejase. Chief Justice have they spoken about it? No, because they all condone criminality and crime. You want to tell me, so those people who went into court, because Delta Force and the Dejina Adakemuno, do you want to tell me, say, Obia Nim Sanko, for we see them on our TVs every day? The Chief Justice knows, but they have refused to speak on it because they are helping Akuffo Addo to hide behind the court to commit crimes. There are so many of them that we can talk about. Inti yeka obi oya corrupt in the history of this country. Akuffo Addo, and they'll say fight against corruption. Akuffo Addo describes Mahama's labeling of him as a clearing agent as unjustified. Akuffo Addo is the biggest clearing agent in this country. He's a certified criminal, certified clearing agent in the history of this country. The reason why we are having all these things is because from day one, from 1st January 2017, Nana Addo Akuffo Addo has cleared criminals to this point. Into Bibo Kronon cry normal. Charles Bisu, after committing these huge crimes against humanity and against our environment, today the same Akuffo Addo wants to put Charles Bisu to parliament. He wants to push him to parliament. It shows how they are enshrined in corruption. In Tiaka corruption, and also bit to bim na all signed document. The actions that enables people to take advantage of the system and their corruption. And remember being that now, see, because corruption and internet about me, I'm not corrupt. Baumia is the most corrupt person. You know why? Mamaka be when it comes to using or hiding behind the law to be corrupt, Mahamudu Bawumia will pretend as if he's not corrupt. Why to say American Muslim? Only preko and so num preko kwine. Do you get it? Mahamudu Bawumia only preko and so num preko kwine. When he asked Bawumia about the Paolo Good dam, $12 million, it was paid to him. But Obaka just said, did you see anybody giving me that money? Because the media and some people in Ghana have refused to push Bawumia. At this point, why not just say, well, and the Anyamena me bo krono no. But remember, it is Bawumia aiding people to pay $12 million to a contractor we don't even know, who did not do the job. That is the corruption part. Where does the money end? The money ends up behind the scenes with the people who aided that transfer of corrupt activities. No, Inti Mahamudu Bawumia General Stage Catcher say, I'm not corrupter. He is telling you in the face, because we want to say yanti corruption. I say Yajine and say also obi mo bisika na ojia and corruption. No. People who use power, who hide behind power to manipulate the system. Mahamudu Bawumia nasi ambassador. He used power, he manipulated power to get Neyere Papa to become ambassador. Bawumia enuya ena otam airport emano. Abra airport did not need renovation. On one enuya and one man go through the PPA, the right procurement process. Bawumia aided this criminal because he knew at the end of the day, Sikana ended up behind the scenes with him. So consistently, this is what they have done. And today, we are not going to say, "Menya corrupt." Anytime we say, "Yepe obia or ye corrupt," our bogana chrono, Akuffo Addo, he has used the law, he has used the court to dupe Ghanaians and to cause Ghana harm more than any president in our history. So you need to understand politics. You need to understand politicians. Some are criminals and liars. And the NPP, they have mastered that craft. They know how to lie to you, and it is part of the NPP. Every single person or supporting NPP was carved out of lies, because they know says enya atroa na so ka so de no krepa etwi NPP ni ma sanka no kre ena ye kan Ghana ne. If we are going to be honest, say a person can cry without like thinking about anything. Anka ohini biya ba omia begina ni mbia obebusa ba omia se ba omia economy ntin ya de obaye and the member anom kokwan so and the dollar no 15.19 adenti na obegina menimu se obetima Ghana ye anka ye kan cry wo Ghana. If we are going to be honest people, say person can cry anka eni se ohini biya entertain ba omia yeah. And can this on Hinibia entertain Bawumia on the parliament the palace? Because it is clear that they all know Bawumia has failed. It is clear that they all know how the economy was before now. But why do you think they will still stand before and say we still support you and respect you? It is because they are not willing to speak truth. It is because they are not willing to put their tribe aside to tell the guy that you are governing a nation, you are not governing a tribe. Indeed, the real truth, we don't want to say it, but I swear to God, or hinibia ni penyinibia sofubia maamibia papabia any deep down in your heart that Bawumia say fa Bawumia say ombeye omo accountant omo company, they will not employ Bawumia. Say Omukofa Bawumia resume and in the record ABC there. They will never allow Bawumia to look or take care of their books. But why would they, these same people who say they can speak some white man's language, why do you think they would today admit to failure? They will admit to failure because they feel say when they are come out to say Bawumia has failed almost so it is their pride before their country. It is their pride before the development of the nation. So they are selfish. So when you see these things, you should not be shocked. It should not worry you as a young Ghanaian. You should not be pissed off. You should not be angry. You have to have some kind of confidence that I will change this. Tie. So you Ghanaian now share Sibia and Peniphobia enim because of greed and a chrono. Na katashe and sebio no kura di pebim person beka na say oh ya young man who say penny we die na me expect say ankasibia ni mfie ko enim no me expect say nko be kasa nyansem because yen nyina na eti krom a yen yen to petrol and the petrol boy is saying and the kobe boy is saying and the tomato is saying and the kako is saying and the afaka akoko kwan so is saying and the dan kra yatum and the oh na nka say panyini we dey megin say onim nyansa say panyini faili sa test na don't get worried, don't be angry. The power you have, and they say you need to change that. And how do you change that? You need to vote against the criminals our opinion is trying to impose on you. Because you're on penifobia Ghana. I'm imagine say the omobe dinkwane hiomo. Send ye be hwa ni hiomo. Send your omobusianfo be di ye ni hiomo. The collective good of this nation, they don't care. It is how a young man as a ojine wankaso abra bonwa. It does not matter where you live or which penino do him. At the end of the day, also one can busa and say, na nipe ya sebio na medwin say we de nko epenyini na nka ebia o tumi a o say nko kanyansa sam ekye nipa yetua to ama no ye de ekra hye nim no se penyini no enim no kura na wonka de a then me as a young man I have to advise myself because sa penyini we midi meni to no so a and the ofri mu a ne mankwa na bedie onwene me ho enti sebio ohene anase wasori penyini anase bio eku a wodi anim penyini aye na adwene se onka no kore ema wo ho ntowa one thing also tia se ne se de ono onya every baomia ene na aban ho no wunya bi the only thing a wo benya ne se wo beto abapa na se bio obi aba abaye nyoma ebeboa. The honest truth is yeto abasesan asesa aban a there are 90% of more beto abano you will not be able to see nipa wato abama no echia nsem. You wouldn't. But me kind of crencho
Debi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase na so far so good say open online portal e wo Ghana nipa share nipa follow nipa comment here to my best of knowledge without any biases PENDREAM TV.